right, everybody, I am here. We are going to do another learn to edit video, and this time I was smart enough to use a separate microphone because every time I click a button on my keyboard, my audio would just skip, and it would be so hard to hear exactly what I'm saying. But right now we are here. We are getting ready to find a good shot out of the small photo session that my daughter had right in front of the Christmas tree and in front of the presents. And I'm just going to show you how I would edit and sort through photos of babies. And as you can see, most of the shots I clicked so far were not necessarily noteworthy. Except that her mom liked it, this picture. We're just going to keep it. Um, if you notice in some of my shots, you might see that she might be slightly out of focus, which is okay, especially with babies because it softens their face up a little bit more. It doesn't make them so hard and crispy because, my lenses are the stuff. Not, not really, but this right here, I took all of these photos with the Pentax A series, medium format 55 millimeter f2.8, and I also use my speed booster in conjunction with that. So this is a medium format frame here. This is not full frame 50. This medium format 50, which gives you a 35-ish field of view, like I use it like a 35, but it's a 50. So in this shot right here, she was kind of playing with the nutcracker because she would not chill out for any reason. My flash was a little flat and straightforward on this image. So this is going to be an easy image to edit. So like you see, look, I'm going to show you. I hit the auto button. The auto button does the few things that I would have done in the first place. The auto button needs to be your best friend editing photos these days because AI is going to rule photo editing. I promise. If you're not using some kind of AI or auto anything in your photo editing, you're doing it the hard way unless you absolutely had to. And there's a lot of reasons to have to, I promise you. And with this image, I don't really need to do a lot to this image. I just really need that Christmas tree back there lit up in her face a little less exposed, I would say. But that Christmas tree, I'm going to show you how I would actually light that up a little bit. So I'm going to take my masking brush, and I won't do this to every shot, but I'm going to do it to this shot just to show you how I would do it to any shot, period. And I'm going to take my masking brush, right? And I'm just going to draw a little space. I want to just draw a little space to see what I'm working with. And the first thing I do is either highlights or shadow because that's less destructive. Highlights or shadow. So shadow seems to do what we need to do. Blacks, if I move the blacks, is going to take away the contrast, which you can clearly see back there. So let's not do blacks. And if I did an exposure increase, I mean, it has to be very, very incremental. It can't be too much or you're going to see clear differences between what I masked and what I didn't mask. So I just need a little more exposure on this Christmas tree back here because of the position of my flash. I wasn't able to get that back there lit up the way that I would have liked. So I have to manually do that. And now you see, so let's turn the mask off for a second. So let's turn this mask off and then we'll see what it looks like. Let's just delete the mask because I don't know how to temporarily disengage it. And then let's undelete it. So it looks a little bit better back there, but one of the things that I think I might need to do, one of the things I think I might need to do is just add a little bit more contrast. Sorry about the background noise, guys. We have, it's Christmas Day, it's action going on and things like that. So I might have to go back and decrease my shadows in the main image because now I don't need to raise them that high because I got my Christmas tree up a little higher. And then the presents on the side are actually too bright. It don't look that way, but trust me, if I darken the presents over on the side, you will clearly see what I mean by they're too bright. So let me darken them a little bit by adding a little bit of vignetting. And now she looks a little bit better, a whole lot better. Like now this image has more definition to it than what it started out to be. Then what I can probably do is go back to my mask and do a little something more back here to get that Christmas tree a little more lit up. So yeah, we're gonna raise this to like 50. And then let's edit the mask and let's try and get down there some. Yeah, so like down up in here, I need to get this area because you can clearly see the difference. You can see clearer difference between certain brush strokes and whatnot. And I don't like too much clear difference. So I just try to, yep, and this is how we pretty much doctor up an image. Take an image that didn't look that way and make it look that way. Editing is the most important part of being a photographer because everybody loves to shoot. But then this part, this is how you then go and prepare and cook what it is you went out to hunt and kill. Even though, that's not this kind of situation, but it's almost like that to me, especially when I do wildlife. I'm like, yeah, I just need to go prep and cook what I went out to hunt and kill. Now, yes, now on her shirt, you can kind of see where my mask went a little off, but trust me, that will not be a big deal. I can either fix it and or I can leave it. Actually, I think I'm gonna fix it. Oh, that's way too big. That's too big of an eraser. Need a smaller eraser. Just kind of fix that right there on the edge. Like I said, it wouldn't be a big deal, but because I don't really want to do anything halfway right now while I'm actually trying to show you, I had to make it a big deal. So boom, there's our image. Now, can I do more to this image? I absolutely can. There's so much more to be done to this image, or so much more that can be done to this image. But do it need it? Like, does it need more done to it? Absolutely not. It doesn't need anything else done to it. Anything else I do to this image is just having fun. That's all. Let's take that dehaze off. See, I like the way that dehaze looked. It kind of darkened my darks a little bit. It almost have the same effect as adding contrast, but it works slightly different on the lights than how contrast does on the lights, but on the darks it kind of works similar. So yeah, so this one image right here, the only other thing I would probably do is clean up her face, but this is before she had a snack, so her face doesn't need to be cleaned up. Right up in here in her mustache area, that do look a little hard and crispy. So what I'll do is I'll add a mask, give me a brush, and then my effect, I want softened skin light. And I just kind of want to blur that down a little bit because I don't want too many, hard spots on her face. I just kind of want her face to be a little more smooth. And yeah, just kind of smoothing those hard, crispy areas, like right up in there, above the eyelid and all that kind of stuff, right up in the mustache. I feel so weird calling it a mustache, but that's exactly what it is. Like, everybody has a mustache. Everyone does. And then I might even be able to work on her forehead just a little. Just a little. I can add some skin soften light. I mean, I don't have my effect turned up high anyway, so it's all of it that I add is going to be just a little. And then that hardness right there on her nose. Let's pull that down. And now let's look at our image. That's perfect. We don't need to mess with this anymore. That's good. The only other thing we can do with this is crop it a certain way. Maybe a 4:3 crop. I use 4:3 when I want portraits. I use the 2:3 whenever I want something more than a portrait. But 4:3 is usually the direction I go. So I want the original crop back that I had. There we go, because I don't want to have to mess with my masking brush and stuff like that. So that image is fine. So let's flick through some more. And we'll see exactly how babies do. I like this image too. I might like it a little more than the one we just worked on. So what I do is I go to the image I worked on. Then I jump straight to the image that I want to work on. Then I right click the image I want to work on, hit the settings right at the top. I forgot you guys cannot see the little windows that show up on my screen. So when I right click something and a menu pop up, you can't see it. So just assume that you can see it by following along and doing exactly what I said. Right click on the image, a menu will pop up, settings will be at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options down, you're going to see paste settings from previous. It'll give you the exact same settings as the last image I just clicked on, which might not be a good thing because now the crop is the same way and the masking brushes are all the same way. And I bet you my mask is off. Oh, that mask is actually on borderline spot on in the same spot. And so is that one, but I have to start these over. So I want to keep them the same, but I have to start them over. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and delete everything that I did to the old background. Oh, it also kept my vignetting. And then let's just go ahead and delete everything that I wrote on her face. All right, so we deleted all of that. Now let's go back to our background mask. And we are going to brighten up this Christmas tree like we did the last image. So whatever you do to the last image that looks just like the next image, you have to kind of do the same thing in order to give it the same look and feel. So you don't want to cut corners too much, but please find a corner to cut if you can. I don't, I'm not against cutting corners in photo editing because this can be a daunting task and you need to learn how to make your life easier and figure out, what buttons are worth pushing to make what difference. You know what I mean? Because sometimes an extra 5 minutes won't make an extra 5 minutes worth of a difference to your image as far as how others receive it. Because we don't do this for ourselves. We do this for others to admire our work and for people to be happy with what we did and for people to just, all we really do with photography is we sell people emotions. That's it. How does this picture make you feel? That's really all that matters. All right, so then we go back and I do the same thing to her face. I don't have anything to clean off her face. I have skin soft and light. And we're just going to go ahead and, hit the forehead like we did before. Hit the cheeks. Right up under the mouth. Right up on the mustache. And then right up in the eyelids. These are usually hard, crispy areas that just have way too much detail for a baby. Babies' faces do not need to be sharp like that. And so there we go. The image looks identical to the last image as far as the settings used. So let's go to both of them. We have that one. Well, actually, I'm going to hit the L button, turn the whole screen dark so I can just see that picture by itself. So we go to that one, and then let's go to the last one. And they both look nearly the same, except the pose. That's all. So now let's hop and skip over to more. And you can kind of have an idea on how difficult it is to take this girl's photos. This girl is hard. Look at this perfect picture. My recycle time on my flash kind of died. So there's really nothing I can do with that image except brighten it. I mean, yeah, pretty smile, but I mean, there's no lighting. And I don't know how many pretty smiles I'm going to get out of her because she act like her mom. Um, mostly grumpy. And, I'm just playing. Oh, look at this image, right? A pretty smile. She's got something in her mouth. But you know what? We'll roll with that. Let's hit the automatic button. Boom. A camera gave us, the software gave us enough. And I don't think I'm going to go and brighten the background to this image like I did on the last image, because it don't really look that necessary as far as creating a look and feel on this shot. I think this shot looks fine the way that it is. And see, I think my crop is all right. Everything is all right with this image here. I don't have a single gripe with this photo. Let's look at her face. Yeah, there's not a single gripe with this photo. We're going to keep that. Look at that one. And I pretty much use mostly all the same camera settings. As you can see, 1/100 of a second, 1600 ISO. I might have changed it a little bit here and there. See, that's a nice little facial expression. That one, not too bad. But usually whenever I take her pictures, I don't get that many keepers. Not with her, because she gets grumpy in the first 5 minutes of the shoot. She do not tolerate sitting in one spot. She acts like her dad on that one. Cannot tolerate that. Don't sit me down and make me sit there and just sit there. No. Doing peekaboo at me and all that like y'all fooling me. Come on, baby. Give me another shot. See, I like that one. I just wish she didn't have that thing in her mouth. And because I got an image that looks similar to that one that I just edited, I think I might save that one for like a next year kind of thing. We don't need every picture I took. We just need the good ones. I don't have too much against the last image I just saw. I don't have too much against this image except her hand looked funny. So always pay attention to baby's hands, because their hands can literally make or break an image just by them not being in a decent position or something like that, or it looking like they just was in the middle of trying to move around, and that one doesn't look too bad either. I can actually do to this one exactly what I did to the last one. So remember what I showed you. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to do this a little different. So this image is 10:9:62. That image is 10:9:62. I got to remember that. So let's go back to this one. I'm going to right click this image. I'll go to settings. Go to copy settings. But I want to copy all settings except crop. Yep, I want to copy all settings except crop. And I don't want to copy the white balance. I want the white balance to be what the camera set it on in every image that I copy the settings on. So let's go back to 10:9:62. (10:9:50), 10:9:54. 10:9:62. So then I right click this image, hit the settings, then go to paste settings. Not paste from previous, but just paste settings. Because then you end up pasting the settings that you put on the clipboard. And so I might have to just darken the exposure of that one a tad bit. Maybe raise it up a little drop of a bit more. There we go. I can live with that. However, I see too much red in this image. So let's take our vibrance down and our saturation. Auto mode really just does, like, it adds vibrance and saturation in every image. I could literally not even need it, and it just adds it anyway. So you got to be careful with that. I wish there was a way I could change what settings auto mode operates on, because I would take vibrance and saturation off of that. Because that's always a thing I have to go back and straighten out. Like vibrance and saturation is not one of the things that I touch that often in my images. But you know, whenever I do, I really do. All right, so I just need a good shot. Like, just give me something good, baby. That one's not too bad. Even though she's not looking at the camera, she was looking at her mom. But I can still live with that. So let's right click on that one, settings, paste settings. I don't need to do a run around on every image when they all look similar. They're all with the same settings in the same place. I mean, the settings were slightly different on this. I went a lower shutter speed and higher ISO, but I used less flash. And the reason I did it like that is because I wanted more of that ambient light from all the Christmas stuff. So, yeah, that's why I shot it that way, because I wanted more Christmas light in my image. Now, the problem I got with this image is this big old snowman right here. I can crop some of that snowman out. And, yep, there's our shot right there. Yeah, I got a little annoying Rudolph down there, but we'll keep Rudolph because at least she smiled. Then look at this, with her grabbing the, you know, trying to touch. I can paste the settings from this too. Oh, except my crop. Every time you go to paste from previous, it literally gives you the same crop too. So you just gotta go and redo that. Alright, so I'll keep that. Then let's go to more. She was smiling on that one, but her face was too far back there. Her face was a little further up. So even though we had a smile, her face just wasn't in position. So I can roll with this image too. She had a smile on this, even though she was smiling at her mom and not me. Because her mom was in the wrong spot trying to get her attention, but it was too much going on for me to make all of those corrections like that. That's why whenever you have more than one person involved in a shoot, everybody needs to be completely on one accord with how it's being done. But this baby was too difficult to even allow us to be able to, you know, do things right. We had to just get it done, or else she would not let us do it. So, yeah, I guess that's the crop we can roll with right there. And honestly, I think this image is a little too unexciting. So let me excite my highlights some more. All right, there we go. Now let's keep going. And so now I got some of her little shirt off. But these were after she ended up eating a snack. And, oh, yeah, that's right. We were supposed to get these. The photos of her crying like a madman. Let me find the cutest crying shot. Like the most brattiest crying shot. I need one of those. I usually try and get one of those in every baby photo. Because they usually will start crying, I promise you. At some point they will. I think the first one I came across. Yeah, that one's the funniest. So we'll just roll with that one. I can't believe I did these all in manual focus and they were all sharp. And she moved around like heck. So let's just paste some settings there, see what we have to work with. And I need a little less exposure, I can tell. little less exposure, a little less on the highlight. Actually, I need a little more exposure. Boom. Then I need to raise up my shadow or something. Boom. And then what I'll do is I'll straighten this out. Even though it doesn't look too much like it need to be, I just kind of feel like this bag back there was just a little too slanted. And it kind of made things look a little funny. So, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to straighten that out. Let's go ahead and crop this down some. And that's our shot. I'm going to keep that. And the baby can be mad at me for the rest of her life. That's what she get for ruining our photos. That's her and her mom doing presents. We're not going to do her mom. We're just trying to get these done. And then this was her in another outfit. One of these pictures we really liked, but it was too bright. I think it might have been this one. But let's take a look at this. We have crumbs all over the mouth and snack all in the hands. So yeah, that's kind of what we had to work with on that. Let's hit auto mode. Auto mode, you know, it darkened it down as much as it could tolerate. But for some odd reason, this image looks like it needs to be on the bright side. I mean, I'm not too fond of it, but her mom liked it, so you know, I won't be the big meanie to say no, that's not a picture you can have because I think it looks bad. But go ahead, just take it, have fun, post it on Instagram, and then don't even tag the photographer. That's how it always works, isn't it? So I just post it myself. All right, so let's look at this. See, now this was a good shot right here, but she had snack everywhere, all over her face. I was told to go find her. See, like there's no way I can edit all of that out. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to find the least trashy mouth image. Like the least trashy mouth image. Right here. This is probably going to be it right here. I like this. Like she's just looking right at me. I bet you it's not in focus. Oh, it is. Look at that. Look at God. Boom. Yeah, and I won't lie to you guys. It is really hard doing every one of your photo shoots, including the action shots, in manual focus. But, you know, those are the lenses I bought when I had money to buy lenses. I don't have money to buy lenses anymore, so that's kind of what I'm stuck with. And, you know, those aren't bad lenses to be stuck with. I promise you they're not. Like, you just don't have auto mode. That's it. But you get far more than quality out of them, though. That's for sure. But some told me to just use my 51.8 because that autofocus would have allowed me to take these pictures a lot faster. But it is what it is. I picked the lens I wanted, and I went with it. So honestly, I don't really like all the redness on her face. So I'm going to create a virtual copy of this image. And I'm just going to make a black and white version. And with that black and white version, that means I'm going to have to do something with the color here. So black and white, I mean, you're working on just pure contrast here. Just, you know, just contrast in tones and all of that. So I'm going to just do a medium contrast on this one. Or I can probably go with a strong contrast on this one. I hardly ever do strong contrast. It's always medium contrast or linear. Yeah, I like that right there. Yeah, we'll keep that right there. Oh, actually, no. Not exactly, because now that we have nothing but tones and contrast, we can actually see where her face is going wrong. So I'm going to take a brush, skin soften light. I might even want to do a little heavy, but who knows. So skin soften light. I might have to do skin soften heavy, to be honest. Well, let's go to skin soften light. And then let's up the amount. Up it. I know you hear my nephew crying in the background. That's my dude. So, you know. Alright, so then we just need... Nah, let's just find one more halfway decent shot. I think this is probably going to be the last one. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah, that was the last one. That's like literally the last image right there. And then we start getting into my selfie and then my nephew opening his presents this morning. Then I got to go and, you know, get pictures of her opening up her stuff this morning too. So I'm just waiting on a phone call about what time. Alright, so like we're going to go back to skin, soften light, and try and fix all of this crud up in here. But let me show you why this image might not be easy to fix. Because all of the crud that's on her face is right there on a crease on her mouth. And so that's not going to be the easiest to work around. So let's just try it. Let's see what we got. Nope, I don't like it. I think I'd just rather leave the crud on her mouth. Like, dead serious. Before I do something like that, I think I might rather just leave the crud there. And probably just try to go with a new mask. And maybe skin soften heavy. And actually make it heavy. Well. So now. Let's try and clean that up a little bit too. Because softening the skin does reveal sometimes where, you know, the problem areas can be worked on the best. It doesn't reveal the problem area, it just reveal how, you know, best you can work on it. Let's just go to a heal brush. Let's go to a healing brush. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. We're not going to fix every drop of crud, but, you know, that's what we have. So then what we do is we go through and export them. Usually I would review them all first, but I already looked at them a million times. So we're just going to go ahead and roll with what we have. And let me see. What else do we have? Blah, blah. Okay, yep, we've got that. Why do I feel like I'm... Oh, yeah, I am. That. Then let's just go back down. 'Cause I know we got some down here. Like that. Then got that. Then we've got that. Alright, so now let's export these and call it a day. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and happy holidays to you. Have a good one. Mommy, I'm bad money. Mommy, you was bad for me. Tell me I was bad money.